Grand Rising. What's happening, y'all? Coffee and donuts for grown-ups. It's Monday. Right back to the work week. We got another 5 days to go through, whatever days you go through. But man, we gonna get through this work week. Hopefully everybody had a good week and a great weekend. Hopefully everybody's weekend was great. Awesome. Coffee and donuts for grown-ups. Right here on Sports Network. I am your master ceremony, Crush the Legend. Hopefully y'all come through this morning. Happy Monday, as they say, back to the work week. A miserable Monday because you don't feel like getting up and going to work, going to school, or doing whatever. But hey, we making it through it, man. There's people that don't wake up, so gotta be appreciative. But Dad, we got some things to talk about. I got a few things to talk about, man. So we had some boxing this weekend. We had some bad news over the weekend too. In boxing. Rest in peace to the legendary George Foreman, man. R.I.P. to Big George. I didn't get to say my piece. Mr. Gumbo in the building. I didn't get to say my piece to Big George. So rest in peace to George Foreman, man. I remember, I'm in my 50s, so remembering the first time I seen George Foreman fight was like watching a scary movie in a boxing ring. You know, first time I seen Foreman box, I was around about 6, 7 years old. But anyway, the first time I seen this man, it scared me because I said, yo, who is this big MFer, man? That's just, that's punching the way that he's punching. Boxing, it was all men then. And I'm like, yo, this whoever this guy is, he's gonna hurt somebody real bad. And that's how it was when I was a kid checking out Big George Foreman. And then at that same time, you had Ali, you had Ken Norton. So, Big George was right there when boxing was great. How they say make America great again? Well, we need to make boxing great again, man. And they was the days. It's boxers like George Foreman is the reason why that a lot of us became boxing fans. Some people still call George the hardest puncher in boxing, and that's their opinion. And I don't have a problem with it because Big George is probably, I think, top 5 if anything, one of the biggest punchers in the sport of boxing. I got to have him in my top 5. Now, so yes, I'm gonna miss Big George, and he was such a gentleman outside the ring, which is somewhat kind of hard to do, and to have that type of temperament, being in a combat sport, where you gotta always be on go, willing to take somebody's head off, But George Foreman was a class act outside of the ring. Gentlemen, he spoke his mind. It was good to hear him talk about boxing when he was commentating and stuff. And a few times, Big George, all commentators, they had their ways sometimes, but Big George was a heck of a commentator. I used to love hearing Big George talk about the fighters and everything, and with that size and his style of boxing and the way that he was punching people, you didn't expect his voice to be like that. What is it with some of these guys that has the biggest punches in the sport of boxing, but they wind up having like some of the like softest voices and everything? But George Foreman was definitely a gentleman, a scholar, and a heck of an athlete, man. And then he made history becoming one of boxing's oldest champions in boxing history. Big George did that against Michael Moore, which is a fight that none of us will forget. It was awesome because it looked like Michael Moore had Big George in the bag. And shout out to Michael Moore, who was putting on a hell of an exhibition against Big George Foreman. But that was a heck of a fight, man. And we didn't think that George Foreman would become heavyweight champion again. And in the later rounds, man, he started touching Michael Moore. Michael Moore started being a little more easier to touch. And Big George put that 1-2 on him, hit him with the Clubber Lane, you know? He hit him with that Clubber Lane and got him up out of there, but I got nothing but great memories with George Foreman, watching Big George fight. You know, seeing him, watching the Frazier fight, you know, him and Ken Norton, you know, so he had a lot of great fights, one of the best and most respected resumes in boxing as far as I'm concerned. You know, for those who really are big on resumes, Big George had a heck of a resume. You never heard of Big George not saying he wanted to get in the ring with someone. There was never a problem with Big George. What's going on, Mike Mom? What's happening, man? Oh, man, Big George, man. Heard about Big George, R.I.P. Big George Foreman, man. Wow, and then, you know, also with Big George, man, you know, at this boxing career and everything, and like I said, you know, being a commentator, he was a good commentator, very respectful one, and also, he had his cooking, baby, Big George. He gets out of the sport of boxing, and he comes out with the Foreman grill. And man, listen, I'm pretty sure we all got a Foreman grill, or we know somebody that got a Foreman grill. Now, I mean, so he went from knocking heads off to coming out with a grill that every household needed to have one or maybe two in there. And his grills are still selling too. So Big George went from knocking heads off to say, hey, man, best way to cook your meat is right on this grill. So shout out to George Foreman, man. Really gonna miss the guy. And also, we lost another boxing legend this week too. Rest in peace, a big R.I.P. to Livingston Bramble. Livingston Bramble passed away too, man. So that's something else too. Oh man, well, hey, thanks for letting me know, Mike Rom. Because I know Iran Barkley, he. So what? So what Fundora should do? Who should be Fundora's next opponent? Yeah, or maybe we can get Errol Spence and Keith Thurman. I would definitely like to see that one. I like to see EJ and Keith Thurman finally fight. Even though Errol Spence said he would never fight Keith Thurman, but as of right now, EJ can't be so hard. And he needs to get the hell back in the ring. And hopefully when he gets back in the ring, he wins, you know, because everybody's not going to be successful when they're coming off these layoffs. And we know everything that Errol Spence been through, from the car accident to the other car accident, you know, this, that, blah, 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 blah. If I'm not mistaken. He did say he'd get in there with Bakram, so let's get it. Let's get it. And nobody's willing to get in there with Bakram like that. So after the fight, Bakram name. So let's see. But I really want to see how good Fundora is. Now, you know, Fundora has a sister by the name of Gabby. Gabby is nice. Now, a lot of guys is saying that Gabby, so we should see. But we ain't really talking about Gabby right now. We keeping it on Sebastian. But I think yeah, Fundora or I mean Spencer Bakram or even Keith Thurman. So there's some damn fights to be made. So that'd be a good thing to do. That'd definitely be a good thing to do. As far as anything else at 154, that's about it. But like I said, 54 is a very exciting weight class. There's a lot of good matchups at 54. A lot of good matchups. Who's gonna wind up reigning supreme? Would Jamar Cholo get back in the mix? It's a lot there. So man, we should be seeing as deep as 154 is, and it's pretty much been one of the deepest divisions in boxing, in my opinion. You know, Some of you guys may not agree with me, but I think that's the case. That it's probably one of the deepest weight classes, and definitely one of the most competitive weight classes in the sport of boxing. So I can't wait to see how it goes. And we should be saying somebody should be a 154 bout on every goddamn card. That's just how I feel, because that's how deep that weight class is. The weight class is. So shout out to 154. Also, what we got going on, man? We running through stuff. So we do have the Fatal Fury situation. Also, which brings me to another weight class that's one weight class south of 154. Blame, we ain't really been getting too much at 147. But now with the likes, we finally getting a fight with alright, cool. Alright, cool. So, alright, I know y'all wanna look at that. So let's do this. Let's do this. Like I said, smash the like button. It's a lot at now I'm down at 147, which is, like I said, 147 needs a little bit of life up there, because it's really not a lot at 147. Now a couple content creators and things try to give 147 the benefit of the doubt. Be honest with you guys, I really can't, because the discussion is, or the question is, 147 for me is it deep enough? Is it deep enough for you as a boxing fan? Do you think that the 147 weight class is deep and competitive enough? Now I'm gonna be honest with you guys. 147 is probably one of the least lackluster, the least exciting weight classes right now. I mean, because y'all gotta remember, just about the class before, most of everybody is gone out of 147. All right, so 147 for me, in my honest opinion, is on a rebuild. You know what I mean? Because there's not a lot of fighters down there to talk about. So that's why I understand people would be critical of Jaron Ennis, because they says nobody down here that can beat him. Some people think that the only person at 147 that can give him a run for his money or even beat him is Brian Norman Jr. Some people think that that's the only guy at 147 that can hang with Boots Ennis and probably give Boots Ennis his first defeat. Now I'm gonna say this: I have to see it. I like them both. I'm a Philly guy, you know, so not just repping Boots because he's from Philly, but Boots is nice, because I don't rep every fighter that comes out of Philly. Let's just let that be understood and be clear. I'm not one of those. Oh, you supposed to represent everybody in your city? No, I'm not. I rep who I like, and that's not just because you from my city. I don't give a damn. But 147, that should be easy for anybody to take over. Like I said, it's not as competitive as it was, because we know the other guys is going. Keith out of 47, Earl, Terrence, Sean, all those guys. You know, the U guys is a lot of those guys. They still around, but they not around. So it's 147 is easy. That's why some people feel as though that Devin Haney will fare well at 147. It's because when you think about it, I mean, really think about it, weigh it out. I don't think it's going to be as hard as 147 for Devin Haney as I originally thought. Now, when I'm looking at as far as the fighters that's there, I'm not really worrying about that, because, you know, like, we got to see Dev too. We got to see him in his return in the ring to see if he's mentally back. You know what I mean? Because you got to be mentally straight in order to be able to do anything else in that ring. So, yeah, that's up for grabs too. But like I said, ain't too many guys that I will put over Devin Haney right now. The only guys I would say just off the top of my head I see beating Devin Haney is come on, just Boots and Brian Norman Sr. Far as the other guys in between and things like that, I don't know. It's kind of weak a little bit. But what I'm gonna do, I'm about to go set up and do the live and do coffee and donuts actually on the Sports Talk Network. So I just need to get something off real quick. But look, if you're here for the first time, subscribe to the channel. If you're here for the first time, I appreciate it. And then all the regulars, I'm about to go over to the main channel. So I'm about to shut this down in 2 minutes, and then we're gonna restart right on Sports Talk Network, on the Sports Talk Network. So I will be back in a few minutes doing that, because I do have some other things to discuss, along with the things I just started discussing now. But I do have some other things to discuss. So it's going to be dope. And plus, there's a lot that's actually going on in the world right now, besides sports, that's we need to be paying attention to a whole lot. 6:35 to 7. All right, cool. I'm shutting this down. We going right over to BBO. Mike Rhyme going over to BBO. And Mike Rhyme, I don't know why I ain't got you in blue, my guy. Hold on. You was been supposed to be in blue. Yes, I gotta make Mike Rhyme, get him in there. There you go, Mike Rhyme. I ain't worrying about that motherfucker Tizzle. Yeah, Tiz, I'm about to go set up right on, I'm about to set up again. So I'm gonna shut this one down, and then I'm about to go set right back up. All right, so I'm gonna see y'all dudes in probably like 3 minutes. But yeah, I just need to get my little warm up in, and now I'm about to get that series cook on. So I should see you guys in a couple of minutes. And thanks for knocking that guy across. So I'll be paying attention to those damn clowns, man. They be goofy. All right, T, I see you there. I'm about to shut this down now, y'all. Peace out.